Could a family of ghosts be living in your house rent-free? The freeloading familial phantoms next on the Six Side Cast.
Merry Christmas, everybody. It is Thursday, December 26, 2019. This is a Six Sad Cast. My name is Nick, and I'm joined on my left by my good friend Manuel.
Hey, what's up, guys?
And on my right is my other half, Sarah.
Ho, ho, ho.
Merry Christmas, everybody. This is it. It's finally over. We can finally get this thing over with.
Hooray.
How do we feel about that?
How do we feel about Merry Christmas being back and Happy Holidays as goodbye?
Well, do you really have to drop a lot of money for New Year's?
What?
I mean, come on.
For the alcohol.
Champagne. But I mean, like, you know, Christmas comes, you're like, ugh, I loved it when I was a kid, but now that you're an adult, you're just like, oh, I'm broke. I don't like Christmas anymore.
Oh, I see what you mean.
But for New Year's, it's just like, hey, you don't necessarily need to spend money. I mean, really? You don't?
No, you don't.
But, you know.
I was talking about the phrase Merry Christmas versus Happy Holidays.
Oh, it doesn't really matter which one. It's like tomato to me.
Merry Christmas is back.
I mean, I would like for people to stop being so offended by Christmas.
It is. Starbucks is back with Merry Christmas. A lot of people are Merry Christmas again.
They say Merry Coffee. That doesn't count.
Do they really?
Yeah, they say Merry Coffee on their cups.
Oh, man.
I'm thinking of a different company. But basically, all the companies are back to not being so afraid because it was like immediate when it was like, okay, it has to be Happy Holidays. We can't say Merry Christmas.
Well, it's been yet another week. How have you guys been doing?
You know, there's a lot of moving parts. Christmas comes and goes every year, but I feel like this year went by faster.
It might have.
I also got everything I wanted.
Oh, okay. Did you get that surfboard?
I didn't want that.
Oh, okay.
That
was last year.
That was a joke, yeah.
You get that
He
one.
wanted the station wagon that would normally be framed by a surfboard.
Oh, my God.
With the wood paneling.
Hey, we had a discussion the other day. It was just me, like, why? Why are station wagons with the wood paneling like the Crocs of vehicles?
That's a bit
like
much.
they are like the ugliest cars I have ever seen.
No, the PT Cruiser with the wood paneling.
But see, she doesn't like the PT Cruiser, which I don't really have a problem with. But maybe it's just the wood paneling.
What else had the wood paneling? Is that the only thing? No, I feel like there are other cars that had the wood paneling.
If they did, that's not on the top of my head. And it's always just been the station wagon that's just the ugh.
Mini Coopers?
Oh, the Dodge Caravan had wood paneling as well.
Ew, it did. Ew.
See, you don't like the wood paneling there.
Because no minivan should have wood paneling. It's a station wagon.
There were moments in time, you know, that we thought that was okay. Remember some mobile homes, some trailers? That's what their walls were.
Oh, yeah. And there were, you know, old Atari game consoles and stuff. They were just, it was fashionable at the time. They're just like wood trim, wood paneling, and it's just that. Bleh.
I grew up with that.
Oh, really? You had
wood
an Atari?
paneled walls.
Oh, I thought you meant like an Atari with wood paneling. I was like, wow.
Oh, no.
Really? You had a home with wood walls?
Yeah.
Or
well, they're not really wood.
Yeah. It's more plastic, but yeah. So your childhood homes that had, you know, fireplaces also had wood paneling?
Yeah.
Gross.
I didn't mind it then. I actually still don't mind it now. Just paint it white.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
white wood.
Sarah, how did your Christmas go?
Oh, swell.
Did you get everything you wanted?
And then some.
Oh, okay.
You're talking about that white wood.
It's all over this house.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness. Why?
Oh, I just got it.
It sounds so dirty when you say it. God.
I just got it.
A bunch of children I'm working with here.
We hosted. Do you think we hosted well?
People got drunk. I mean, it was all right.
Okay.
Everything that goes great, to me, that means it went great because everything that goes great, he just says it's all right.
Yeah, that is true. He's like, Nick, how was the Taylor Swift concert? I mean, it was all right.
But he was clenching his fists.
Oh my God. That time that I saw Taylor at Minute Maid Park. Oh my God. I was having the time of my life.
I bet.
You better bet everything.
Speaking of Minute Maid Park, are you going to the Rumble?
Probably not. I'll probably go to the Superstore because they're doing like that fan access doohickey. So
Yeah.
I'll probably go to the Superstore, if anything, just to look around.
Yeah.
But the Rumble itself, I don't know.
That place is huge.
The place is big.
I don't know how they're going to do that.
Even if you spend like $50, like you're going to be way back there or something.
Yep.
And would it be worth it? I mean, when we were in the Alamo Dome for that Royal Rumble, that was a big place.
It was big, but I think the Minute Maid Park is bigger, right?
It might be. Is it technically an outdoor baseball venue?
It can open and close.
It's not technically, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's where the Astros play.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, it's huge.
It is a big place. I saw a boxing event there. And it was like the weekend after the Pacquiao Mayweather boxing match.
Oh.
Like the following weekend, there was some sort of boxing event at Minute Maid Park, and for whatever reason, I found myself there, and it was actually really cool to watch.
Yeah, but were you close?
No, I was up like in the grandstands, and I was mostly watching whatever action like was on the jumbotron above.
Because you can't even
I
see.
mean, yeah, I mean you could see what's kind of going on, but like, it was.
How much did you spend? It was like $20.
I honestly don't even remember.
Damn.
Like it could not have been much because I was like, why would I want to go to a boxing event? And dude, that main event of that boxing show was better than the Pacquiao Mayweather fight. Because that fight really was not all that good.
Because Manny
Phoned it in, it felt like. He was just like, oh, cool, paycheck. You know,
No, bro.
5 years
tried.
too. It was
Mayweather
5 years
really,
too late, man.
He was really good, bro. He was playing.
5 years earlier, he was better. Then that's when it should have happened.
Yeah. Well,
But
history is
but-
what it is.
But the way that they had everything set up, you know, it's like WWE when they build like the metal structures around the ring and the lighting grid. It was cool to see that in that venue because you wouldn't think that something like that or like a wrestling show would be in that type of venue. Usually that's for like
Kanye West or Joel Osteen. Yeah. I hear you.
yeah, that sort of thing. But it was cool to see. And I'm going to assume that the Rumble is going to be very similar to that. But yeah.
It's my favorite pay-per-view. I don't think I'm going to go, but we can move on.
Oh, I mean, I would love to go to the Royal Rumble.
I know my brother wants to go.
Yeah, my brother wants to go, but I just don't know if I'd be able to like afford to go.
For it to be worth it. Otherwise, it's like, no, I'd rather just sit here in my living room and get unlimited Cokes and water
And just get loaded.
with Cokes and water.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, you can.
What are you talking about?
Getting blitzed.
On his strawberritas.
I mean, I would at least have one.
So red cheeks.
I'd be feeling really good.
That's red cheeks Nick.
Yeah.
And giggly.
I mean, yeah, that is true. You better stay away from me because I might give out hugs. That's the type of person that I am. Obviously, Christmas came and went. I mean, it was so that means it was good.
Did you get blitzed?
No, I didn't get blitzed.
Okay.
But, you know, Texas weather, it was 70, 72 or whatever. So you could walk outside in like shorts and a t-shirt and be like, hey, Christmas, how you doing?
I don't know if it was that high, but it was certainly comfortable.
Yeah, it wasn't like, 40s, 30s. It didn't feel like Christmas because it's Texas.
Mm-hmm. And Texas is so big, we could be telling the truth.
Yes.
Well, I wanted to ask you guys, what is the best and worst Christmas gift that you've ever gotten? Should we do the bad ones first and then the good ones?
No, let's talk about the good stuff first. Right? Let's get the good stuff going. You know, good feeling, and then yes, let's as life takes us through this journey.
Okay,
it is what it is, right?
Yeah.
But you're talking about gifts, like, you know, when it meant something. Like
yeah, like when you're a kid
and
growing up, and it's like, what was the best? I mean, as you're an adult, gifts kind of change. You get like gift cards, video games, clothes, or something like that. But like when you're a kid, let's say before the age of 12, like what was the absolute best Christmas gift you ever got that you still covet to this day if you still have it?
I don't have it, although it might be in the attic or in Mexico, one of those, but I got it here. We were coming back from Mexico, which is a 24-hour drive. Okay. And so we arrived here to Texas on the 25th, but we arrived at like 3:30 in the morning.
That's cool.
Yeah, and so I was like, so I guess there's no Christmas today, you know, because, you know, they're obviously I didn't see my parents stop at a store or anything, and Santa, things were in Mexico.
Yeah.
So, and, I mean, I was old enough to, I didn't ever believe in Santa, mostly because I never got any gifts, but It was that time. I was like around 10 or 12. No, 10 or 12. 10, no, I'll say 10. I was 10.
Okay.
So I was cognizant of what was happening. And so I just went to bed. Woke up at 8. Dude, can you imagine as a kid waking up every time and like knowing you're not going to get gifts, but you still wake up thinking, maybe this year. Yeah, that was my life. And so also at 3:30 in the morning, I was like, so this is one of those years I'm not even gonna wake up because clearly it's not happening.
Yeah.
I woke up to a Pyramidas from
Holy hell.
Power Rangers. Yeah, and not like one to share, because sometimes that's what happened if there was gifts.
Yeah.
For me.
That was specifically just for you.
Yes, Robert got like the Super Z Megazord on his own, and Jose got something else.
Dang.
Forever I will remember that, because I was like, what?
It's like, we don't even have a chimney.
We don't.
How did this fat ass get into my house?
Yeah. Well, my dad, I knew my dad. Yeah.
No. Oh, so your dad's Santa.
For his family.
Yeah.
We all have a Santa designated to
yeah.
us.
And then maybe it's because I'm brown.
Oh, okay. I mean, it could be, you could be, what is it? Kyle on South Park, where he's a Jew.
Yeah.
Remember that song? He's like, I'm a Jew, a lonely Jew. I would be Mary, but I'm Hebrew.
Oh my gosh.
It was,
I don't
as
remember
dumb
those
as
lyrics.
that song is, it's actually quite catchy and really cute. And the way he sings it, it's like, aw, you kind of feel bad
Because
for
they're little blobs. So that's my best gift, for Christmas.
Yeah. Sarah, what was your favorite gift growing up as a kid?
I'm going to sound very spoiled.
Would you get like a cat or something?
Manuel's story is so sweet.
Yeah.
I kind of feel this small.
What?
Because my parents strived so hard to get everything my brother or brothers and I wrote on our Christmas list every year.
Wow.
And my mom always said, I don't know how we did it, but we always managed to do it. And it's like, no shit. Down to... So,
okay.
One that's memorable to me is my purple bike.
Okay.
I wanted a purple bike. And as soon as I walked into the living room and they just had a bow on it, I think, I was like, oh, I got my bike.
And it was a surprise.
Yeah.
That's the best.
Where the fuck did they hide it?
Exactly.
See, we can
But
talk
you know
about
what?
that.
It was probably in the garage, just blended with all the other junk.
that you
So I
just
think one side of the garage was taken with all my dad's stuff.
okay.
But then,
So you just cover it with like a shitty looking blanket.
I guess.
Or whatever. Yeah.
oh, that reminds me of a story. Okay, this isn't a worst gift.
Okay.
This was when Rugrats were big,
Okay.
and I went into my parents' closet for something. And I actually found one of my Christmas gifts hiding in there. It was a Rugrats doll. I was like, I'm not going to say anything.
And I'm gonna be super excited.
Yeah. Where it is today, I have no idea.
Aw, see, that's a shame.
I know. But they were so thoughtful. When I got into my preteen years and I wore everything Hot Topic,
Okay.
my dad always knew, somehow, even to this day, my dad knows my style and how I dress. I don't know how he did it,
Yeah.
but even when I shopped at Hot Topic, he knew what I wanted. And I remember opening up a gift, and even though it was like an uber mini skirt, they still got it for me.
Wow.
And I didn't wear it as a mini skirt. I would never do that.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, they got me the mini skirt I wanted. Like, what?
That's
I was just always so shocked. They did such a good job.
They did.
the surprise, the shock factor
Yeah.
is better than the gift.
Of like, how did they put this thing together? My favorite gift, I've had some good Christmases, and you get some Christmases where you're just like, yeah, this one's was just aight. And I'm not being sarcastic. You're just like, well, last year's was like incredible. Or you're like, I had a really amazing birthday, and then Christmas comes and you're like, it's just aight. I don't remember any gift that I got on this particular year other than my original Sega Genesis that I had. When I woke up and got that system, I immediately knew what it was. Like, as soon as I opened like a little corner of it, I was like, that's a Sega Genesis. And then I ripped the thing open and I was like, oh my God, does it have a video game with it? And it had Sonic the Hedgehog 2 in it.
Oh.
And I blew my mind. And somehow, like, when I opened the box and it's like, okay, now we got to plug it into the TV. Like, my parents, they couldn't even set the clock on the VCR. And they're like, well, how the fuck do we plug this thing in the TV? And it's literally just plug and play, that type of thing. But, parents, whatever. I opened it and I just knew how to plug this thing into my little TV. And so all I needed, I was like, this thing needs to move out. It needs to come this way so I can get back there and bam, bam, bam. And then I did it, and then immediately started, I think on my first go, I got to like the second stage and maybe got like halfway through, but I needed to do other things.
Yeah.
Because at this point, like all the gifts are open, but this was it for me. And I remember the reps that I had going to like random targets and playing these games. I was like, I know how to do this, but once I hit like that black spot, it's all like new territory.
It's brand new.
Yeah. And I was so fucking excited. I still have that Genesis. It doesn't work. It's at my parents' house in my old room on the ground underneath like this little shelf in a little nook. And it's busted. I don't know what it is that doesn't work. Whatever. There was a part of me that wanted to bring it here. I could probably still go get it and like just hollow it out and stuff like little bags of sand in it to weigh it down and just use it as like a decoration piece, because I will always love that game console, and I still have that original cartridge. I don't have the original case anymore because it got messed up, so I bought another case, but the original cartridge that I have in the closet over there is the cartridge that I got on that Christmas, and it still works.
How old are you?
How old was shit? I don't even know when the Genesis came out. Like 95, 94 or something like that. Whatever year it came out, maybe the next Christmas is when I got it.
So almost 24 years ago. It was 25 years ago.
Yeah. I mean, it was that's like my all-time favorite gift as a kid.
I can't imagine, man, opening a console like that. Because like that's what you want. And so when it actually is that.
Yeah. And this
don't bother me for the next 3 days.
It even surpasses like when I got like our original NES or when we got the Nintendo 64. I don't even know how I got the GameCube, but I've had other consoles around Christmas. For whatever reason, the Sega Genesis was the one that like trumped all other game consoles for me.
The 64 was
after like 96 or 97.
Yeah, that was after.
Yeah.
The Sega.
And I think I even got that one for Christmas. When they get these game consoles, like my brother will play them, but like they're mostly for me. And yeah, that one came with Star Fox and it had the Rumble Pack, and I was just like, oh, it's the greatest. And it's that cool feeling, like my cousin, she had Mario 64, I had Star Fox, so like we would swap. And then Doug down the road, my best friend and all that, he would have GoldenEye and I would have something else, and so we would swap. And it was just always
WCW Nitro.
did I have any wrestling games as a kid?
There were two WCW ones. There was WCW Nitro and
there were three of them.
Three
on the
of
N64.
them.
There was WCW Nitro, which was bad, which was a port of the PlayStation one. Then it was WCW World Tour, which was the very first one, and then Revenge.
Yeah. Okay.
And the company, the Aki Company Corporation, went on to then go do WWF games.
Yeah.
And that's how you got WrestleMania 2000 and No Mercy.
Which I've now recently played both. I mean, I've always played No Mercy, but I never played WrestleMania 2000 as much. But I just played 2000, and having played No Mercy this entire time, I'm like, I see where they fell short.
Yeah. They're both really good games. Yeah. All that sort of stuff. So, yeah. Yeah, so we all had really good memories growing up as a kid. You got a Power Rangers toy, you got a sweet purple bike, and I got a game console.
Oh yeah, for those who didn't know what Paramidas was, it was a Power Ranger. Power Ranger toy in its prime. It was in the season. Like, it wasn't like, oh, that's from last season.
When you said the word so fast, I was thinking he got an illness and he's excited about it.
Paramidas, yeah. I got it all over my back, and I couldn't sleep. I had to sleep on my belly.
But he was so happy about it.
Yeah.
And then that's when I learned I loved sleeping on my belly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it was Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Zeo. And it was Pyramidas was the white Gold Ranger.
The Gold Ranger Megazord, yeah.
Okay.
That fit in Robert's Megazord and mine to shoot. Like it was, if you could become one, that was the one.
Yeah. God damn. So it's like your family or Santa somehow knew
that we were Power Ranger fans.
Well, yeah. I mean, it was kind of written on the walls when you were a kid at that age. Mm-hmm. So let's go ahead and discuss real quick. We'll get to the bad stuff here in a bit. How do you think, through whatever connections, family or Santa does their thing, when you wake up on Christmas morning and all of that stuff is there, immediately you're just like, if Santa's not real, where did all this crap come from? And can you imagine if, let's play devil's advocate, that your parents did it. Can you imagine waiting for your kid to go to sleep and having like 3-hour window to make this stuff happen?
But that's not how things worked for me. Once it was 8:30, you knew it was time to start getting ready.
Yeah.
By 9 o'clock, you were in bed, whether you were asleep or not.
Damn.
And if you got up, it's like, what's up? I'm getting some water. Okay.
No, I'll get it for you. Go back.
No. It's like, okay, get it and go.
It's like as if, and you know, like when you casually walk through the living room and you see watching, it's like, what are my parents watching? And they're watching like the news. It's like Nightline, and you're just like, this is what they don't want me to see? Like, what's happening?
Yeah, I don't even know if they'd be watching TV, but it's just like, why are you up? Like, you are not to, this is prohibited. So, yeah, they had from 9 p.m. till 8 a.m., 7 a.m., whatever.
Wow.
Yeah, that wasn't a problem.
Okay, Sarah, how do you think your parents pulled some of the stuff off, if it was indeed them?
I know it was them because I remember commenting one year.
Sarah laughed. Oh, I know it was them.
I know. Because I asked my mom, why does Santa have the same handwriting as you?
Damn it. That is a question that was raised in my household, and I had no one said anything, I would never have noticed.
Someone asked that same question?
Or someone pointed out, hey, Mom, my, like, your M's or whatever, Santa, from Santa, it looks like the way you write your M's and N's in cursive.
So then you took a look and you're like...
They were always in
oh
cursive, and I never
my.
noticed. Yeah, and then you take a look and you're just like, oh, my Jesus. So here's my plan.
Hold on.
Avoid this, if and when I ever have children, and this can become like an issue, why is this handwriting match Santa's? I'm going to get an outside third party to label all of the gifts.
Just print it out, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, I could do that, but it's more personal if someone's actually writing it.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
And
I'll
if
write
you could
it.
find
Just
like...
pick the different font.
Oh, God.
I'll write it. I'll write it.
Yeah, if you could find someone with like really good penmanship to show it's like, dude, Santa's got style.
Oh, okay. I won't write it.
Or it'd be like, well, that's Mrs. Claus handwriting. That's why it's all like really gorgeous. You know? That sort of stuff.
Interesting.
It's
So
an
when
easy solution, just
I never believed in Santa, like ever, obviously. But when did you like? I heard the stuff they were trying to feed me, you know, in school about Santa, but like I never believed it.
You never believed it? Well, you know, the type of person that I am, like, if somebody told me something dead-faced and was like serious about it, I'd probably be like, I'm willing to believe you. Like if my
There's
kid,
no reason not to.
like with all the horror movies and stuff that I've seen and watched, you know, in my whole life, if my child came to me and was like, there's a monster in my closet, I'd be like, I kind of want to believe you, you know? So like, I'm kind of gullible for stuff.
It wasn't that I was sharp or just like a super detective or anything.
But then there's the evidence. Like one time I was getting in bed, Sarah, you probably heard jingle bells outside your, like out in the streets or something like that.
I shared this story with Nick. One time when I was a kid, only one time, I woke up in the middle of the night, I guess to use the restroom. And I swear, I swore I heard ho, ho, ho. Like off in the distance.
The sleigh bells and ho, ho, ho?
Just ho, ho, ho.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, oh, I better get back to bed. So then I went to bed.
Like, I mean, but that's magical. That's
yes. There was this one time where we, you know, my family does stuff for Christmas Eve, and that's our Christmas. And then Christmas Day is like, that's when you get to like enjoy all the stuff that you got the night before. So it's like, okay, that's cool. One of these, you know, we go to my uncle's Christmas parties every Christmas Eve or whatever. It was one of these after party things where we came home and it was like 9 or 10 at night or whatever. Like what me and my siblings tried to do is we tried to stay busy at my uncle's house as long as possible, because then it's like, maybe if my parents take us home late enough, maybe we could see shit go down. And my parents always like, come on. And now I kind of understand. It's like they just wanted to like set everything up for us. But this one time, dude, I'm crawling in bed and it's like 10, 15, maybe 10:30. I just brushed my teeth. I'm hopping in bed. And my dad came rushing in and he was like, hey, you know, like you need to, you know, hurry up and get to bed, because the news is saying that Santa is like in our general South Houston area. And, you know, the news shows on the radar where Santa is, you know, and like I'd be at my uncle's house and I'm like, oh, well, fuck, he's in New York City and he's coming our way. We need to get out of here, you know, that sort of thing. And so when my dad was like, hey, you need to like get to bed, as I was getting in bed, I heard jingle bells somewhere outside my window and like up. And I'm like, that's not like in the fucking backyard. That's not next door. Like that's up at an angle.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I need to get to bed. And it was just like one of those things. And then you wake up the next morning and there's fucking streaks in the yard. How do you explain that, bro?
What?
Yeah,
Okay.
there are streaks in the yard, and it was like
Your dad's pissed.
the next morning, my parents were like, well, our house roof is kind of steep and it's not very wide, so Santa, when he was on his descent, he was going to land. He was like, oh, can't do that. He called my parents over and he was like, hey, is it cool if we land
On the side.
in the yard? And my parents were just like, hey, man, whatever you got to do, you got to do. And so he landed right there in the yard, leaving the ruts in the yard. And so when we wake up, we're just like, oh my God, there's fucking proof. He was fucking here.
Wow.
That's so sweet.
So then at what age did you... When I was in Mexico, and Christmas is not like it is here in Mexico. That's why I knew there was no Santa.
Yeah.
And so, but when did you stop believing? Or when did you find out for sure that was?
God, you know, I
When
really
did the
couldn't
magic
tell you.
go?
You know, it might have been mid to late 90s, maybe. Because, like, around the N64 era, I'm going to use that as, like, a time frame, is
1997?
Yeah. Is around the time where it still felt like it was magical. And at that time, I'm still 10. You know, 97. I was born in 87. Maybe by the time 99 rolled around, was just like, okay, maybe he's not, like, a thing.
Mm-hmm.
But by 2000, like, for sure, I was just like, okay, maybe he's not. And I'm just not going to say nothing.
Dang. So there's
But
doubt.
then, you know, with some of the crazy stuff that happens in this world and paranormal and all that stuff, it's like, okay, look, I know it's a far-fetched thing to try to believe in, but, like, why the fuck not?
If this other stuff...
If he
exists.
doesn't come down through the chimney or blah, 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 or whatever, maybe there is some little kernel of truth to all of this legend. I mean, it had to have come from somewhere, in which it did. There's a guy named St. Nicholas and all that, yada, yada.
Jolly old Saint Nick.
Yeah.
Which is another word for the devil, by the way. Or another name.
Jolly?
No.
Just
Oh,
Saint
okay.
Nick, right? Or
Saint Nick.
Really? It's another word for the devil?
Satan. Saint Nick.
Oh, whoa.
Bro, I saw a picture where Santa's like trying to put a pillow over baby Jesus, and at the top it says there can only be one. So he's like trying to smother baby Jesus. I'm like, what?
Dang.
That is...
And this is on Instagram,
Yeah,
of
that's
course.
amazing.
You know, everybody trying to get a like or whatever.
Okay, so Saint Nick is slang for the devil. That's cool. I could get behind that. I mean, Santa also wears red. Sarah, how old were you? Or you always knew
What?
that Santa wasn't real?
No, she heard ho ho ho, and the reason we want to get back in bed so fast is because if we're still up, then he doesn't stop.
Yeah, because like somehow he knows. He's like, this motherfucker's still awake.
What a creep.
Okay, then I'm gonna head out. No toys for these people.
There's that whole thing. You better not pout. You better not cry. What he's watching.
No, you better not cry. You better not pout. I'm telling you why.
Yeah, he sees you when you're sleeping.
He knows when you're awake.
Like, it's kind of creepy.
Yeah.
Does he have like little nanny cams and we just didn't know about it?
Nanny
No,
cams
it's
before nanny
magic.
cams existed.
Yeah,
It's
and
back
he-
to the dogs. How did the dogs not like chew his ass? Well, it's magic. They know. They're
Yeah.
like they're in the same wavelength.
Oh, that's cool. So he can speak dog.
They didn't have to speak. They're just like, oh, this is good vibes. I'm going
Can you
back to
imagine
bed.
Santa Claus kneeling down, speaking Scooby to the dogs? He's like, "Hey, my name is Santa Claus."
They have to laugh like they said something funny.
He goes, "Now you're just not going to bark at me," you know, because
Wow.
he's Santa. So he says, "Oh."
Yeah.
So is he like Dr. Hibbert from The Simpsons? He just laughs all the time,
No.
but he just goes, "Oh man!" You know, the funny thing is, I think I joked about it with you, is that as fat and jolly as Santa is, he always looks clean, and he always looks like he smells like super nice, like maybe like a rich wood of some
Old
sort.
Spice.
He smells Old Spice.
Because, you know, Fiji. He can't go there.
Oh, yeah.
It's always so cold, so he imagines what Fiji smells like and wears it.
Oh, okay. And then I told Sarah, I was like, you know what? It's something about Santa Claus. Like, I bet you he could pull any woman he wants. Anyone. They're always going to be like, Santa, your beard is so nice. And he's like,
This is what, while he's
"Show
at a
me
bar?
your tits. That was bad.
Ew, honey.
Again, if he's at a bar, maybe, you know, because every time there's a Santa, people want to take a picture. Oh, Santa,
Yeah.
come on. And then tits out, yeah.
Tits out for hashtag tits out for Santa.
He's winking. He's like, that's right.
Okay, so let's go ahead and touch on some bad Christmas stuff. Who wants to go first here? What was like the worst experience or worst gift that you've ever had?
Go ahead.
The worst gift I had was a paperweight glass dove from a boy.
Oh, that actually sounds
Because I
kinda
broke
nice.
up with him.
And he gave you a dove in return?
Trying to say he was sorry.
Okay,
What did he do?
Yeah, what did he do?
I mean, of course you don't call it dating. You just call
Okay.
it, I'm talking to a boy on the phone every day and just meet him at the skating rink when I can.
That's my boyfriend,
y'all didn't
what-
even go to the same school?
No. It was
Oh.
one of the firsts.
Sarah.
And a girl that her and I really didn't get along, but she understood girl code. And she told me at the skating rink, she says, hey, he's messing around with that chick over there. He's cheating on you.
Dang.
I'm like, okay, thanks. It's over.
You just literally like look from your left to your right and you're like, hey, honey.
Hey,
we're
Kyle.
done.
Fuck you.
No, I was stupid. I said, okay, one of the rules is no cheating. So
One of the rules is no cheating.
yeah,
Like he could go murder a man and you'd still love
I
him.
suppose.
Oh
I mean,
my
we'd probably add it to, we'd write that
I
in.
didn't love then, okay?
What if he stole from like a child?
Honey, I just said one of the rules was no cheating.
Yeah, what
For
would
sure.
Can you give me one other rule?
I don't remember. It's not that important.
It just seems like it would be natural. Like
It's
that's
like-
obviously one of the rules. And
Apparently, he was that stupid enough to where I had to tell him,
Oh.
and he still didn't get it.
Wow.
So I was like, you broke that
Well,
rule.
you didn't
It's
spell it
over.
out. You didn't write them down. Kidding.
God, y'all are dumb.
He should have
then.
known. He should have known.
It's like the 3 rules: no stealing, no killing, and no cheating. Got that?
Can I gamble? Yeah, where are you getting money from? Kyle, we need to talk.
Wait, are you stealing this money to then go gamble? Are you cheating at gambling?
Can I gamble with you?
Oh wow. So you got a little dove?
It was literally paperweight. It was one of those heavy
There's-
glass ball things
Yeah.
where you see like a little bubble on the inside.
How much heft was it? Can you concuss someone with it?
I should have hit him with it, yeah.
Wow. Do you still have it?
No, I give it away.
Oh, yeah. She's like, I took it to school,
That's
put it on a
appropriate.
pile of papers, and walked off.
Yeah.
That's appropriate.
Manuel, what was the worst gift that you've ever gotten?
Socks.
Oh.
Is that the other stuff is nothing.
Oh.
It's nothing and then socks. Because I needed them.
But now, as a full-blown adult, if you got socks, would you be happy?
Yeah, and then be like, don't do this. I'll buy this. Just give me the cash. How much was this? $8, $7? Buy me a meal.
Wow. He's like, hey, let's go to In-N-Out.
Yeah, you can buy a number 2 with that. That includes the drink, folks.
Was it last year, Sarah, that you got me socks? Or was it the year before?
I got you socks and undies last year.
Yeah. It's so
But it's
funny.
from
like,
her, that's
it's funny. Like,
different.
well, no, it was just like genuine like excitement because I was
And
like,
they were stocking stuffers.
I was like, fuck you, socks. And they were like little ankle socks and they were like Jurassic World socks. And I was like super excited.
Imagine opening that up in 1997.
Were you excited for your socks?
No. I was like, what? Okay.
Oh, man.
Great.
I mean, if I had gotten Ninja Turtle socks, I probably would have been stoked. Depending on what type of sock it is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, because obviously I'm not going to mention, oh, well, I got clothes for Christmas. I was disappointed. Like, every kid gets clothes. And
No,
of course,
there's
it's not
just
cool.
white socks, just regular socks, so that I could use because I needed them.
Wow. I'm sorry.
That's not what this is for.
Well, okay. So my bad Christmas memory isn't really like a gift because I really don't know what, like, there was nothing that I got that was like so shitty that I was like, this is the worst. This is the dumbest thing I could have got. This is a memory of us gonna go to my uncle's Christmas party on December 24th. I was young and I got this really cool jacket and it was like one of those puffy bubble jackets that are like stupid warm. I forget what they're called.
Bubble
and-
jackets.
Yeah, and I was like so excited about it. I was like, this is awesome. And we're about to go to Orleans. It's going to be cold. I get to wear this. I was so happy about it. And then my mom is like, hey, can you carry this to the car? We're loading up some of our food. I go and I grab this pot of, I'm guessing it's like some sort of chili or something like that. As I'm going down and I'm getting like right to the back of the vehicle, the trunk's open or whatever, and I'm about to put it in. I don't know what I do. But like the pot like wiggled in my hands and I was like, what happened? And I put it in there and I went to go like stuff my pockets with something and I was like, what? I'm wet. And I looked down and there's fucking chili all like right here. And it was like brand fucking new. I was so happy to being crushed. Then I was just like embarrassed and then I was scared. I was like, I can't tell my parents this. Like I literally just got this like 30 seconds ago and I've already messed it up. So my solution was I'm going to stand with my arm like this. like my left
The entire time.
my left arm was covering, because it was a bubble jacket, so it was like my arm's fat. I was covering like the big stain that was on my left side as much as I could. And I don't think anybody noticed. And then when we got to where we were going, I figured out a way to take off my jacket and go stick it with the other jackets, but bury it under everybody else's jacket and fold it in half. And then I was just like, you will stay there the whole night. And then I did the same process when we came home, and then somehow I figured out a way to like wash it. And I don't think anybody ever figured it out, but yeah, that was like, I was fucking embarrassed.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And I don't even know how I got away with it.
I don't think you did. They probably just didn't want to.
It was, yeah.
Be like, what the fuck?
Oh,
is wrong
look,
with
he's trying.
Fat Nick, he can never win, man.
Look, he's trying to keep his arm there the whole time, but when he talks, he uses his arm so we can see it. But then he remembers and puts it back. It's so cute.
Look at him try. Bless him.
Yeah.
Oh, God. We only got one trailer to talk about, and we just got done watching it. It was Top Gun, Maverick. This one stars Tom Cruise, Jennifer Connelly, John Hamm, and Val Kilmer, and follows Pete Mitchell after 30 years of service as one of the Navy's top aviators.
John Hamm was in this?
Yeah.
I didn't even see him.
He was there for just a flash.
Okay.
But yeah. Okay. Let's go ahead and talk to Sarah about this. Sarah, you hate Tom Cruise, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Why do you hate him?
Hate's a strong word.
Why do you dislike him?
She's like, I fucking hate him.
You forgot an adjective. Or would it be a verb? Because it ends in ing.
I mean, yeah, fuck. The act of fucking is a verb. It's an action word. But
Okay.
you fucking hate somebody. Does that mean you're actively just hating
An
the person?
adverb.
It's a description word, right?
Yeah,
It's been a long time.
Fuck can be used as both, but fucking was
Yeah.
a verb, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
The stuff they don't tell you in school that they can, like, it could actually matter in the real world. They're like, yeah, the act of fucking, that's a verb. Think of it that way, kids.
Word.
Okay, so going into this, you don't like Tom Cruise.
No.
So he's already got that working against him.
Yeah.
Is it because he's short?
No.
Okay.
I used to be into short guys.
I mean, obviously you're into me. I'm a short guy.
You're not that short.
I'm pretty small.
You're taller than me. That actually counts. Because my last picks,
They were shorter than me?
they were as tall as me.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's, wow. Because, like when I look out into the sea of guys, I'm just like, man, I'm one of the smallest. Okay. That's pretty
I
cool.
remember one. He was short.
What, did you meet one of her previouss? You met one? What was that like?
The Hispanic one.
I think they were all Hispanic.
The one she was, or the one, yeah.
Do you want me to edit that out?
Yeah.
I can believe it. Okay, I'll
Thank
believe
you. Okay, so I give him credit for being a good actor. Maybe it's because he's a Scientologist. I just can't comprehend or even accept people that are Scientologists.
Uh-huh.
What's her name? Leah something? She got out.
Leah.
Aaliyah? She's dead.
That's how she got out.
Aaliyah. Anywho.
I'm sorry. That was
Leah got out,
that was
and
in poor
then
taste.
Which, good for her.
Uh-huh.
That tells me quite a bit about your character, and it just doesn't settle with me. And I feel like he only gets these big roles, sure, maybe because of his acting skills, but I think it's because Scientologists or the community backs him so much, and they probably, like the Illuminati or Jews, have their money into the movie business
Yeah.
and give him these roles.
Huh.
what? I'm following you in everything that you're saying. There was a time where he was absent for a long time. Like he wasn't in big movies
I don't remember that.
up until what was all the 2000s. Up until recently, what he did a movie where he finally came back. Like even when Tropic Thunder came. When did Tropic Thunder come out?
08, 09, something like that, maybe?
Yeah, so late 2000s and then early 2010s, and like he wasn't doing anything. So it was weird to even see Tom Cruise in a movie. It was like, wait, is that actually Tom Cruise? Like we didn't hear from him. It was like the 90s, then nothing, and then now he's back. Edge of Tomorrow is when I think one of the big movies that he came back with.
It's probably when he joined.
Well, so what if like Colin Farrell came out one day and he was like, you know what, guys, these flat earthers, man, I'll listen, and I did, and hot damn.
Hi.
I mean, we need to watch that interview of Colin Farrell. I want to see what you think about Colin Farrell after that.
Oh, is this for real though?
No, I'm kidding about the flat Earth thing. I don't know what he's talking about. What are you talking about?
I'm talking about the two lies or one lie, one truth.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, the night is still young. Manuel, how did you feel about watching this Top Gun trailer?
The movie seemed interesting. I just, like I said before, I don't know if I've said it here, but he's not convincing. He does not convince me of a badass little guy.
So it's funny that I'm the only one in the room that sees him. I'm just like, yeah, you're the fucking man.
He can punch a wall down. And I'm like, nope.
I don't know what it is. I've just always liked Tom Cruise. I didn't watch Days of Thunder because I'm not into NASCAR. I didn't watch the first Top Gun movie. This movie, I really want to see it. Will make me go and watch that one.
The trailer makes it seem like a good movie.
Yeah, and when I had said he's really doing that, like there's a scene in the movie where he's like taking off and he's jerking the stick, and the camera's facing him, and he's up in the plane and he's like going left and right and all that stuff, and you can just see the G-force on him. When I said he really did that, like in one of the Mission Impossibles, he strapped himself to the side of a plane as it took off, and that wasn't a stunt man, that was really him. So if he's crazy enough to do that, he's crazy enough to get into a jet plane and pretend like he's working it, and maybe the real pilot is doing it, but like, he was really in that jet plane.
Yeah, that is one thing I do admire, is that he does do a lot of his stunts and is not afraid to get in there.
For being a small guy, the balls on this guy. Like, come on.
Okay, not that much to admire.
Okay, would you strap yourself to the side of an airplane and let it take off?
How much does it say on my contract? Yes. The answer is yes.
I think he was a producer or something, and I think there was some workaround. Like, they didn't want him to do it for insurance reasons, so he had to do something in production wise to like get around it to let himself do the stunt. Because like the insurance of the movie was like, you're not gonna fucking do that. We're not strapping you to the side of an airplane. You're like, yeah, you will.
We can record this as the last scene. This will be the last part of the movie. That way everything else is complete.
Oh man. For the brief scene that we saw him without a shirt, still looks good.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, he's always looked good though. So
well, I mean, in the early 90s he was just like real skinny. He wasn't like put together like he was in The Mummy. Mm-hmm. Like, you get a really good shot of him without a shirt in The Mummy when he's like the dead body that wakes up and he's wrapped in plastic. You see, like, he's fucking put together for a little guy.
Mm-hmm. For a little guy.
Right.
Little Tom.
So yeah, I don't know anything about Top Gun. All I know is I think Goose at the end of the first one dies, and that's pretty much all I know. Oh, and
is that a cat?
No, don't say it. Well,
no,
it does show it in the
it's
trailer.
His partner, you know how like they're up there, and like his name is Maverick on his helmet. Goose was his partner, and he had Goose on his helmet. Oh. And then there's like Iceman and. You know,
okay.
And like
Maverick, Iceman, and Goose. That sucks. I'd be like, I don't want this helmet.
And then of course the Charlie Sheen movie Hot Shots and Hot Shots Part 2 were inspired by Top Gun, or at least the first Hot Shots was. It's basically Top Gun.
Why does Hot Shots sound like a hockey movie?
What's funny is that watching this Top Gun trailer, the music that was playing as he was getting into the thing, it kind of felt like a reunion of the Mighty Ducks. I don't know why I was like, man, they should really do
hockey movie.
They should do a Mighty Ducks movie.
Tom Cruise wasn't in that.
No, that was Emilio Estevez, the brother of Charlie Sheen, who was in Hot Shots.
Dang. Oh, there it is. That's why. That is why.
Oh, gosh. All right. Well, Sarah, how did you feel about the connection that I made?
Good job, honey.
All right. Yeah.
It's like the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon or something.
Oh, yeah. Somehow. Isn't that amazing? You could do like 6 movements and try to find everybody somehow connected to Kevin Bacon. It's crazy. Because you would think it would be like Samuel L. Jackson, because he's in everything. Kevin Bacon was gone for a long time, and then he came back recently.
Like Tom.
Yeah. Like, he did Tremors, did a couple other little things, gone for a long time, came back in X-Men Origins or whatever the fuck he was.
Yeah. Kevin Bacon, what's the dancing movie that he did?
Oh, God.
Gone with
Was that Footloose?
No.
Footloose.
Was it Footloose?
Yeah.
Gone with the
The greatest movie of all time.
Okay, so Footloose is what I would remember Kevin Bacon from, and you said Tremors.
Yeah. I mean, doesn't everybody?
So then you're Star-Lord. That's what he remembers him. as.
Okay.
Is Footloose still the greatest movie ever made? It never was. The look of hurt on Star-Lord's face. Hearing that from Spider-Man, he was like, what? It's the greatest movie ever made? It never was. Oh, man. All right, so check this out. Some non-news news is that a Subway employee robs a store to teach a fellow worker a lesson. Lorena Marin and her accomplice Angelo Espinosa were arrested in Las Cruces, New Mexico after Espinosa allegedly stood by while Marin verbally and physically threatened the employee after hopping the counter. They ushered the employees into the back of the store, but one employee got away. Marin told the police that she committed the robbery to, quote, teach one of the employees a lesson about what could happen late at night in this part of town.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Some people, man. This is just the world that we live in. I'm going to teach you a lesson because you're a rookie.
Someone's got to teach you.
Wow.
I'm sure they were caught. Obviously, they were called up by the police. They're probably, like, everybody's been fired, probably.
It's cool, man. It's cool.
Did you hear how big that guy's penis was?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was big. Like, this mic stand, it's bigger than that.
Well, what minute are we at right now? Because I want to go back in here to see if we can actually hear it. Like, I've been listening to the episode sometimes, and I'm like, I want to know where in that truck, if we can hear that truck.
We are at 49:35.
Okay, all right.
But during editing, it's going to be shorter than that.
But I'll know roundabout.
Yeah, okay. Okay. But yeah, I'll leave in that part. Hopefully you hear it, and I'll be like, that guy's penis was big. Sarah, how do you feel about people robbing other people just to teach them a lesson?
Where was this at?
This was in...
Las Cruces, Mexico.
Yeah. New Mexico.
I guess that's just how they learn things.
God damn it. You're like, hey, do you know how to change the tire? Do you know how to change a flat tire? No. And then you just go and flatten someone's tire, and you're like, well, you gotta fucking
Now
learn
you'll
that.
learn. Today you'll learn.
It's right up there with where parents are throwing their children in the swimming pool. Today's the day you learn how to swim.
You were today years old.
God. Manuel, I sent you out into the wild on assignment. And the assignment that I gave you was to learn about dark Christmas legends, or was it origins to Christmas songs?
Yeah, music that sometimes has just maybe a little bit darker meaning.
Yeah. And then, was it the whole Santa, he can see you when you're sleeping? That's kind of creepy.
A bit.
You know, actually, that one just is creepy in the words.
Yeah.
There's no really like dark.
And what's
origin to
the song? I mean, you like the song, I like the song, where they're talking about going out because it's cold outside.
Baby, it's cold out.
Yeah, I mean, I really like that song, and now people are like, no, it's a date rape song.
Ugh, feminists.
Is it date rape? Because I know
They're
that
saying that.
When you really listen to the lyrics, it kind of sounds like there's mischievous acts going, because the girl actually says in the song, like, did you put something in my drink, or is there something in my drink?
but that doesn't mean that there is.
I mean, there's not, but he gave her another drink.
She didn't say what's in this drink. Like, she didn't
Yeah.
see what he poured. It could be
Yeah.
like a nice whiskey or
It could have been.
bourbon.
Right,
be.
and it's like just to stay, you know. But the part people should be upset about is that he did use her, because the song starts up "Don't go, stay," and then isn't the second part "Now you should leave, now you can go"?
No, I don't think.
No.
I don't think in the entire song
Never
he
mind,
wants
that
her
was
to go.
just the SNL version.
Oh my god, he's gonna take what SNL does as truth.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Just as you do movies.
Wait, what are you talking about? Name one.
Snakes on a plane.
Dude, okay. Have you ever seen a snake on a plane?
No! That's not true.
You can put anything on a plane.
Is that the one with Ice Cube and Jennifer Lopez?
No.
That's Anaconda. You know there's like 4 of those? Or 5 of them?
Anacondas?
Yeah, that's exactly what I said.
No, I didn't know.
Thank God I don't own that series. Because then I'd have to watch them.
All of them.
God, I do have the
Christmas
first
gift.
one. I'm like, oh man, new movies. Sarah,
Anaconda 5.
you got me Anaconda 2 through 5 on Blu-ray?
Anaconda 5 is a porn parody.
Oh my God.
Because, you know, it's 5 anacondas.
One lady
Something.
searching
It's
the
actually,
jungle.
there's no lady.
One ship.
God.
Well, it's not a ship. One boat.
And
Both.
Ice Cube comes back.
They get a impressionist to be Ice Cube, and it's like, man, that's actually a pretty good Ice Cube. Look at him go.
Applaud.
He's really channeling the Ice Cube from Next Friday. I appreciate that.
Anywho. Go
So
ahead.
some of these songs you guys might have heard of. This one's "Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas." You
Yeah.
guys ever heard that song?
It's a cute little happy slow song. I like it. Yeah.
How's that one go, Nick?
Have yourself a merry little Christmas.
For some reason, Is that how it goes? I thought it was slower. Like,
I mean, well, it is slower. I'm not saying.
He's just being goofy.
okay. Well, that song was covered by everybody, including like Amy Grant, Barry Manilow, etc. But this song was originally written in 1944, and it's in the Meet Me St. Louis, and it was sung by Judy Garland. Do you know who Judy Garland is?
Oh yeah.
I've heard the name. I can't.
I
think of
always
anything.
I always hear the name. I'm like, I
Wizard
know.
of Oz.
Yep.
Dorothy.
Exactly.
Oh, that was Dorothy.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's like all I know her from.
Numerous films, but Wizard of Oz, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Hugh Martin was given the task of creating a song that could show the family's sadness over celebrating the last Christmas in a home that they were moving away from. With the lyrics, "Have yourself a little Merry Christmas, it may be your last." Martin did such a good job of writing the song, or the melancholy tune, that Garland complained it was too depressing. So this was about somebody leaving their home and like moving away or whatever, so it was a little depressing. Later, the lyrics were changed by the one and only, I don't know if you guys know, Frank Sinatra.
Oh.
I think I heard of this cat once or twice.
Frank?
Yeah.
Yeah, he changed the lyrics because they were still too depressing. And so it went from now on, we'll have to muddle through somehow. And then later was moved to hang a shining star upon the highest bow.
Okay.
And that was at the request of him, who, thought the song was still too dark.
All right. I mean,
And he sang it beautifully.
I could see.
That's the reason it became a classic.
When I moved away from my childhood home, I cried. I was a kid. I moved away from my
I
childhood
thought you
home.
were talking about when you
twice.
moved into the apartment.
No, no.
You cried
I'm
then.
sorry.
You're like, I cried then too.
When me and my family went into the trailer, I was like a young adult, like my childhood home.
Right.
That lived.
I'm with you now.
Yeah, I went from one house to across the street, and I'm like, oh, we're still on the same street. And then we had to move back, and then I was like, oh, we're still on the same street. And then we left to where my family's trailer is, and that time I was like, my old childhood street. Little
Because
fat Nick was crying.
it was like, oh, I'm gonna move, and it was like they prepared you like, okay, I'm gonna say goodbye to this, but it was just down the street, and then it was like, oh, we're gonna move again, oh, but it's just down the street. So it was like, the similar.
It was
and then
literally
finally
across the
they
street
ripped the
and
Band-Aid.
down like 2.
They prepared you. They were gonna rip it, but they didn't rip it. They're
You
gonna
know
rip it
what's
and
so
then rip it.
Nick and I, we almost have a similar story when it comes to living in childhood homes.
Yeah.
Because when we moved to my childhood neighborhood, I almost said the town.
Oh, okay.
We moved into, so you seen my childhood home. We actually lived across the street first, like the house directly across. And then it was a rental property though. So they were saying, hey, you gotta move out. So the house across the street was for sale. So we're like, okay, we'll just buy that one. So then we just literally moved across the street. It was the best case scenario.
Wow,
That's pretty good. Yeah, stories like that are pretty cool. And then we had to move away, and I was like,
that's almost impossible because like it would be nice, right? It's like, oh, well, I'll just buy that house, but how do you know that house is being sold at the right price and that everybody fits or it's the right amount of rooms? Like, it just worked.
yeah.
I think my mom just saw it. Well, we kind of have no choice. It's the best option. Let's just go.
Hey,
My mom was quick on her feet.
Yeah, no kidding, man. She still is quick on her feet.
Yeah.
the next song is Santa Claus is Coming to Town. How does that one go, Sarah?
It's very poppy, or it can be. We just saw, or we watched Steven Tyler sing it.
Santa Claus is Coming to Town?
From
Yeah.
on Lizzie McGuire.
Oh,
And it was something because,
But the verse, where he sees you when you're sleeping.
yeah, I work at a car dealership, and they're playing Christmas songs all around. And, I had said, I'm tired of hearing the Bruce Springsteen version of Santa Claus is Coming to Town. Here I've heard Steven Tyler do it on Lizzie McGuire, and I'm like, there's got to be like a whole version. He recorded like this whole song. It has to be out there somewhere.
how did you know it was Steven Tyler? Just because of how it sounded?
No, because they showed his face.
Oh,
He was actually in the show.
performing it.
Yeah, he played like a mall store Santa Claus.
But he was actually Santa.
Yeah, and then he like got on this Christmas float and started singing, and I was like, wow.
Santa Claus is coming to town.
Yeah, and I was like, man, just take out Bruce Springsteen, put in Steven Tyler, Boom, problem solved. No, I bet you no one's heard his version of it.
I feel like I've heard that song by other people, but again, pop groups, maybe Backstreet Boys, Boyz II Men, or something.
Yeah.
Like that,
Okay, so what is creepy about Santa coming to town?
Apparently, this was written right after a family member's funeral. The writer, Haven Gillespie, was asked to be, by his publisher, was asked to write this Christmas song for children. And having gone to the meeting directly right after his brother Erwin's funeral, Gillespie had no choice or no interest in the program, but then was somehow talked into it. And so now it was later recorded by, I had the name in it. I guess I skipped it because it says recorded by.
Blank.
Yeah, by blank. But either way, now every time Gillespie hears it, all he remembers is his dead brother.
Oh.
Wow.
And on such a, Santa Claus is coming to town.
Yeah.
So was death.
Saint Nick. What am I telling you?
Saint Nick was coming to town. Death was coming to town.
Damn.
Wow.
What about the other song? This song called "Do You Hear What I Hear"? That one already should, some.
I don't think I've ever heard "Do You Hear What I Hear?"
Oh,
And if I
yes, you
have,
have.
if
It's
I
very
have,
slow.
I don't.
How does that one go, Sarah? Remind Nick.
Well, I only remember like the lyric of the name of the song.
Do you hear what I hear? Right? Yeah.
Nope.
The lyrics describe a lamb pointing out a star to the shepherd boy who tells the king to bring silver and gold to a special child. And it sounds like a sweet, not overly religious tune, but it repeats the verses, and it's a classic holiday that we hear today, right? Because the "Do you hear what I hear" is what they say constantly, which is why probably that's all Sarah remembers.
And do you know what I know?
Do you hear what I hear? Do you know what I know? What many people don't know is, however, that the star with the tail as big as a kite actually refers to a missile. The song was written in 1962 by Gloria Shane Baker and Noel Regney, both terrified of being blown up as the Cuban Missile Crisis was going down.
Oh no.
God.
The lines at the end urged the listeners to pray for peace, people everywhere, and the songwriters this was a response to that tense situation.
Wow.
Wow. I never would have guessed.
The tail as big as a kite.
Yeah.
Dang.
It's that, the trail left behind when you fire a missile.
Yeah.
Hot damn.
2 more honorable mentions. There's one more song I'm going to go into, but I Saw 3 Ships. Did you guys ever hear that song? I Saw 3 Ships.
No.
Nuh-uh.
People say that they are referring to the ships or the boats that were transporting human remains.
From what?
They weren't specific, on that one. But when the song "I Saw 3 Ships," which isn't that popular, that's what I just an honorable mention. I was like, human remains? Wow. Oh Holy Night.
Oh, of course.
Okay. Yeah, everyone's heard.
Oh Holy Night was banned by the French Catholic Church because it was written by a Jew.
Ah, that's
man.
That's why it's an honorable mention, because that's just messed up. But the last one is "I'll Be Home for Christmas."
Yeah.
"I'll Be Home for Christmas" is one of the most sentimental holiday classics beloved by many people, and they can relate because of the loneliness and separation during the holidays. But being away from home is taken an entirely different level when one is physically unable to go home because they're currently fighting a war overseas. The song was written in 1943. So what was happening in the 40s?
World War II.
Yep. So it was written by Walter Kent and James Gannon to comfort the families separated by World War II. Bing Crosby sang it first and made it the hit that it was today, but this is because the soldiers were separated during World War II.
That was
Yeah.
another good-looking man, Bing Crosby.
So, another song that kind of gets me around Christmas time, and it has something to do with the soldiers, is it involves Snoopy from Charlie Brown. There were a couple of songs of him chasing down the Red Baron, and it's like it's an uppity little catchy cutesy song, but in there Snoopy comes and lands, or he's about to catch the Red Baron or whatever. But anyway, it's Christmas. It goes from the 24th to the 25th, and then there's a ceasefire, and you could, like, the soldiers from both sides come together and they start like exchanging food rations and treating each other like
What?
like, you know, people, because it's like, hey man, we're just doing what we're told. It's Christmas, you want to have a smoke or whatever, you know, let's just hang out. And every time I hear stories like that, because I don't know if there really was a ceasefire or whatever in those years, but whenever I hear something like that, it always kind of gets me like a little choked up, and I'm like, oh, this is such a cute song. Why don't we hear this song more? because, like, you know, Snoopy chasing the Red Baron is fucking cute.
And Sing covered it.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I don't know.
Because, you know, he used to always get on his little doghouse and pretend like he was a fighter pilot. I was able to find 2, or 3. Oh, okay. Dark Christmas Legends. Obviously, the most popular one is Krampus. Everybody knows him. They even made a movie about Krampus.
Well, tell the listeners, what about Krampus?
He's basically like the evil version of Santa Claus. Like if you lose hope in Christmas or whatever, he will come and he will kill you and take you away.
Oh.
Right.
Not really kill you, but he'll entrap you
Yeah.
for life.
So you must believe in Saint Nick, and then because if you don't, then Krampus comes for you.
It is a shame that we didn't get a chance to watch Krampus for this, because I would have liked to have like talked to you two about this movie. But Krampus is a legitimately good horror movie.
Is it Krampus?
That pitches itself as a Christmas movie, and it even feels like a genuine Christmas movie.
What was that movie with that was pretty dark that came out during Christmas a couple years ago? Is it Krampus?
Yeah, Krampus.
So okay, you keep saying Krampus. Is it Krampus or Krampus?
Krampus.
Krampus.
Krampus. So I say Krampus.
Krampus.
But yeah,
It just sounds like we're from Michigan when we're saying that.
he's like a
Krampus.
giant hulking beast with large horns. He wears like this large cloak. He has claws for arms. He has hooved feet. He's a really ugly looking creature, and
That's
he has
the
like
devil.
Well, that's why when you said he was, Santa's opposite, I'm like Darkwing Duck and Negaduck. But what you're saying is not that.
Yeah, he will end you. Another thing that I found that I'd never heard of before was the Yule Cat. The Yule Cat is also known as the Jólakötturinn in its native Iceland. The Yule Cat is a fashion-conscious Christmas monster. This giant feline towers over houses and peeks into the windows to see if children got new clothes since last Christmas. If they did, then it was safe, and the cat would move on to the next house. And if not, the child would get gobbled up. So when you were a kid and you were bummed about getting clothes for Christmas, remember, it may have just saved your life.
That's interesting.
And so I imagine like this giant black cat, kind of like Clifford the Big Red Dog, just kind of looking in people's windows like, meow, meow. You know.
Give me your clothes.
Yeah, it was all about fashion. Grilla, Gryla. Is that how you were saying Grilla?
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this hails from Iceland folklore and is more interested in eating children than giving them things to eat. Grilla is said to have come down from her mountain to seek out naughty children. She gathers them up in a sack and carries them back to her mountain to cook them in a stew. She is a truly hideous witch with horns on her head, has many tails, and a very large wart-covered nose.
Of course.
So yeah. Both of which came from Iceland. So, maybe it's just...
How come a witch has to have the wart on her nose? You don't see that on a warlock. That's bullshit. Sorry.
That was her takeaway. Forget all this other crazy stuff of like, why would the good people of Iceland think of such crazy things?
The good people.
It's just, why does the witch have to have a wart on her nose? I'm tired of seeing...
And never a warlock. It's bullshit. It's like what's the commercials for cold sores? I forget what it is, but it's always women. It's like, not just women get cold sores. Not only women have herpes. Guys do too. Just saying. Okay, move on.
Sarah just wants equal representation across the board.
Yeah, quit making women dirty.
Women menstruate, so do men, apparently.
I wouldn't go that far.
There's a line.
John Wick 4 and The Matrix 4 are set to release on the same day, May 21st, 2021. So
appropriate.
Keanu Reeves has got his work cut
Wait,
out for him.
what?
Yeah.
How?
I don't know. Keanu Reeves is... I don't know when he's going to start shooting either of those movies, but yeah, they both have the same date.
Oh, he hasn't even started.
At least from what I know, he has not.
That's so interesting.
Isn't that crazy? 2 movies with the same guy.
Do you think it's on his birthday? They're like, let's make it a Keanu day and just release 2 of his impactful movies.
It sounds like that's going to be Keanu's year.
Yeah, probably. And when you'd think that like this year would have been his year.
Because of SpongeBob?
SpongeBob, the John Wick movie, the video game thing that he did during E3 or whatever it was. Yeah, he had a big year. The new Power Rangers movie is going to be set in the 90s and is going to be happening at Paramount.
I can't wait.
There you go. So I sent you guys a picture of a Christmas sweater that had Santa Claus on it. Before we go, Walmart pulls a sweater from stores that show Santa Claus appearing to do cocaine. The image on the sweater has Santa sitting behind a table with 3 lines of white substance in front of him with the caption, "Let it snow." The product description on Walmart's website said, quote, "We all know how snow works. It's white, powdery, and the best snow comes from South America. Bad news for St. Nick, who lives all the way in the North Pole. That's why Santa really likes to savor the moment when he gets his hand on some grade A Colombian snow." Walmart apologized for the sale of the product and has since removed it from their website.
It's because they allowed third parties on there.
That's exactly what the reason was.
Dipshits.
A third party made this Christmas sweater.
That's
But I
very
sent it
cool.
to you
I'm gonna
guys,
tweet it out. I'm gonna
And
take the
he
picture.
has like a pile of snow, and then there's a table with 3 lines, and it
I
looks
really
like
didn't understand what it was. I just see this weird sketched out Santa
yeah.
with a fork and a spoon. Like he's ready to eat something.
you saw a fork and a spoon.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't see whatever in one hand, but in the other hand, it looked like he had a straw. There was like a
Oh,
little line, and I was like, "Oh shit! Oh god!" Sarah, what is the email for the show?
sixsadcast@gmail.com.
And Manuel, do we have a Twitter handle?
We do. It's at SixAdCast.
That's good. It's real easy to remember. It's nice and uniform and
And
tight.
Niskis, what's the podcast name?
I think it's the Runnin'.
Bitch.
No, the name of the show is the Six Sad Cast.
Damn
podcast.
right.
Okay, is it the Six Sad Cast podcast or just the Six Sad Cast?
I mean, if we're talking about
Six Ad
podcasts,
Cast.
it's the SixAdCast.
I mean,
podcast.
it is a podcast, but it flows off the tongue better to just be the Six Sad Cast. And then you had said, what was the thing about like us being the thing? And I was like, oh, we are members of the Six Sad Cast.
We are the cast of the SixAdCast
try to-
podcast. We're the cast. But then I started doing like a fishing pole cast. I was like, "No, there's a different cast.
Yeah, there is. It's kind of like bear, and bear. There's 3 different. God damn
There,
it.
there,
Here I
there.
am trying to avoid or reduce the word cast as many times as possible. It's like, yeah, we are the members of the Six Sad Cast.
Can you imagine if you had done cast with a K? Why?
I guess I just wanted to be different, but no, it's with a C. Yeah. We are going to be taking off next week, and we will be back with a new episode of the Six Sad Cast podcast on January 9th.
Oh, that's my mommy's birthday.
Well, I guess I'm going to have to go fetch a bottle of wine.
Woo.
Is there anything that
You
you guys...
really like that?
I have enjoyed some wine with her mother, and her mother is quite sweet. Or she's sweet to me.
Is there back of you?
Is there anything that you guys want to talk about before we ride off into the sunset? To the new year, actually.
We should all sing "I'll Be Home for Christmas."
I don't know the lyric, though.
I don't either. I'm just kidding.
Okay, good.
And didn't they make a movie out of that? Starring Jonathan Taylor Thomas?
I'll be home for Christmas.
Probably.
Yeah. Or I'll Be Home for the Holidays.
Maybe. Maybe.
Okay, maybe. All right, that's what it
Tony Bennett.
Lady Gaga and Tony Bennett.
is. Wasn't he on SNL? Where, what's
was
his
that
name?
Tony? Yeah.
He was
yeah,
making fun. He's like,
yeah.
what a great cast.
Yeah.
Everybody down there.
Everybody's here. Everybody here is great.
Have you tried the souffle? It's great. Tip your waitress. Well, that does it for this Christmas episode of the Six Sad Cast. We will see you in the new year. Until then, his name was Manuel, my name was Nick, and her name was Sarah.
Bye.
I simply must go.
Maybe it's cold outside,
The answer is no.
but maybe it's cold outside.
I've seen this welcome has been
I'm lucky that you
so
dropped in.
nice and warm.
Look out the window at that
My
storm.
sister will be suspicious.
Thought your lips looked
My brother
delicious.
will be there at the floor.
Waves upon the tropical
My friends,
shore.
well, their minds are
Got your lips
vicious.
look
Or maybe just a
delicious.
cigarette more.
Never such a blizzard before.
I've got to get home.
Baby, you'll freeze out there.
Why don't you lend me another
Up to
coat?
your knees out there.
You've really been grand, but can't you see?
Oh, how you do this thing to
There's
me.
bound to be talk tomorrow.
My lifelong
At least there
sorrow.
will be plenty implied.